I think my favorite opening is the one that wasn't planned. I was like singing in the background, and you were talking, and then we just went. But I don't know. That kind of happens naturally.
Yeah.
Intros. Where do they come from, and what do they mean? I don't know, but we're gonna find out this week on the Triple Threat Podcast. Is that the actual opening? We're gonna use that.
Yes, it is. It's in there now. It's official.
You're all quiet throughout. So. Here we go.
Bienvenue.
We're going. I'm off and running. I'm literally on the treadmill right now. I'm running.
Oh, you got one of those extra desks.
I'm up at the gym
Walker
just
sizes.
working on my fitness. He's my witness.
Ooh-wee. I put the boys on rock. Okay, I thought we were
Anyway,
still going with Fergalicious.
Children of all ages.
Welcome to the
podcast.
Welcome to the All Fergie podcast, talking about Stacey Ferguson all week. Nope.
Fergie Ferg.
And the Sarah Ferguson, Duchess of Cornwall.
Yes. Of Cornwall? Did she change her affiliation? I'm going to pretend like I know.
Change her affiliation. So, Will, what is she?
I thought she was the
Duchess
Duchess of York, wasn't she? And then they called her.
I think you're right.
They called her the Duchess of York because
York.
she was kind of big, and then she did.
She was hefty.
Rude.
Well, no. This is what the 1990s
not you.
English tabloid said. They're brutal back then. And then she did Jenny Craig or something like that.
And then they killed Princess Di.
Whoa.
Not okay, guys.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Too soon.
I'm sorry. Who else are you going to blame for that death? Dodi Al-Fayed? No way.
I think you blame the limo driver, don't you? I apologize for that slurp, by the way. It was very rude. It was very, very rude.
It was inconsiderate.
If you
The paparazzi or the slurp?
Eat both.
whoa. I think one
but
more
the
than
slurp,
the other.
mostly.
I think
I'm mostly talking about the
Slurp is my favorite NBC.
The slurp.
It's the funniest thing you ever said.
Uma Thurman just bringing the heat right now.
As John Oliver said, which one's the slap, and how long do I have to keep watching?
I think it was Seth Meyers had one that was like he's like, and it's based off the Australian show called The Slip. Or whatever, but he did it, and it's not even. No, it wasn't in a better accent than that. That was my poor accent was based on Seth's bad accent.
Yeah. Which makes it even.
He
funnier.
can do Boston Powers, and that's it.
I don't like Boston Powers a lot.
The worst.
For
Austin Powers in a Red Sox hat. Oh, the King was it the Kings of Catchphrase Comedy?
Yes.
One of my favorite recurring, and they haven't done it in a while. They probably won't again, but that's
No,
okay.
They've
done 2 or 3, right?
Mick Jagger was one. The episode Mick Jagger hosted, they did one.
What was Mick one of them?
Yeah, he was like, I don't know if he was a British comedian you couldn't understand or something like that.
I feel like the other one was
Zach
Charlie.
Well, Charlie did one too, because Charlie did a Dane Cook thing where he's like, "What kind of flower is that? Is that a chrysanthemum? Jackknife!" And he could that was his catchphrase is jackknife.
Slappy, whack, whack.
Slappy Pappy. They brought Slappy Pappy to Just for Laughs, like the All Access Festival. I saw a little bit of it on comedy. It was Moynihan and Killam, and they did like this. It was on a smaller stage, and they were like hosting some kind of showcase or something like that. And they had Slappy Pappy there. It was pretty good.
Oh, who was the Paul? He left
Blart.
mid-season. No,
Mall Cop.
No, but nice segue.
Paul Britton.
Yeah,
Paul Brittany.
He yelled like Turkey
Britain,
Boy
yeah.
or something like that, or something.
Oh, he was like the foreign guy, right? He's like,
Yeah.
"Hey, Turkey Boy," something.
Yeah, it was kind of like a what's the guy's name?
Or Jerky
Borat.
Boy, I think. Kind of like Borat, but kind of like Yakov Smirnoff.
Yakov Smirnoff, thank you.
Yeah, I'm just.
Soviet Russia.
Yeah, car drives you and all that kind of thing.
Speaking of Paul Blart Mall Crop.
Pearl.
Part 2. Let's specify
Blart
we're talking
Mall
about
Cop.
the sequel, not
sequel.
not the first one, not the first one of the Paul Blart saga. Yeah, it's gonna be a saga, guys. Let's just sit back and accept it.
It's like Ocean's 12, but opposite, where the first one doesn't take place in Las Vegas and the second one does.
Oh, okay.
Ocean's 12 doesn't take place in Vegas, but Ocean's 11 does, and Ocean's 13.
It's like the opposite of
Frank Koppelman.
Yeah, Koppelman. Shout out to B Cops, and like Hangover, where the second one takes place not in Las Vegas and the first one does, and then the third one does
the
again.
third Hangover was really, 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 really not good.
Yeah, and I still
So bad. I know the second one was good, but the third one was just like that was.
Is
not
Spider-Man
necessary.
3 bad?
It's Hangover. The series took a sharp dive after the first one. It just had to be that first movie, but of course they saw the dollar signs and what's his name? And now I don't know his name. The director,
Todd Phillips.
Todd Phillips. Yeah, What does Todd? Never mind. No, because then we'll just turn this into an IMDb fest again. Todd Phillips, I'm sure, is up to something, but probably not Hangover 4. That is my guess.
Oh, you're asking what he's up to next?
I'm just asking out loud.
Todd Phillips' next move is going to be.
Yeah, we don't have his next move on the chessboard. Well, Hangover 3 was also it was 2 years ago, right? It was 2013. I don't know.
Yeah, it might have been earlier.
Yeah, I know it. I know it took place when I was in Vancouver, which is the last 8 years.
It's not helpful at all.
It's
We
not
can say all
helpful.
3 of those took place while you were in Vancouver.
They
Folks,
literally did.
If you somehow came across this podcast and you don't know what it is, I don't know how you did it, but yeah, we're brothers on a podcast. So I thought I'd throw that out.
That's
there.
exactly
Wow,
what my
interesting.
intro was going to
Are
be.
you name
Matt.
checking the intro?
I don't know.
That was exactly what my intro was going to be. It was like, if you're listening to this show, you already know what it is, so we don't have to introduce anything. However, we still will because we're OCD.
We're talking about the intro that I already did, and therefore what you were going to do.
What you did,
Shinfo.
what we already. All right.
So sorry, we were kind of talking about Paul Blart. I
We were,
apologize.
and then
kind of cut it.
Then we got on Ocean's 12, and then we got on The Hangover. So,
Let's talk Mall Cop.
well, I sent you guys a video earlier this morning, Monday morning it is, because this
Yeah.
is when people listen to it.
Yeah, happy Easter Monday, by the way. Hope you didn't have
Just
too many chocolate.
a moment from the commercial for it. I can't remember. It was on something I DVR'd. I think it was a Bieber roast, and I turned it on, and that was literally the first thing that happened on it. It was just that ending to the Paul Blart trailer, which has him getting a cop's phone number who's on a horse. Then he slaps the horse in the butt, and then the horse kicks him in the chest, and he does a backflip, goes flying into a parked car, and then falls on the ground.
Like
It's all done
across-
with it's all really, really well done with CG. It looks really good.
It's across the street too, and it's like
It's across the street.
standard
Yeah, he
two-lane-
flies a good
two-lane
8
road.
feet in the air.
Yeah, the frame is set up that the horse's rear end is on the left side of your frame, and the car that will be crushed into is on the right side, and he flies across the entire frame. And when you're talking about a 16:9 TV, it's a long way to go, man, for Mr. Blart.
And bros, I'll tell you, I was into it until that moment, and that kind of took me out of
That
the
took
reality
you-
of
you
Paul
couldn't-
Blart Mall Cop 2.
You couldn't quite
I
suspend
don't
your
even know what
disbelief
the
that much.
storyline is. Can we just do like a Kevin Smith thing where we just all make up what the storyline is going to be? It doesn't really matter what we actually
Well, I
think
think
it
we
is.
already
Like,
we already kind of know, right? He goes to Las Vegas because he was such a good mall cop. He obviously stopped whatever the incursion in the first movie was. I'm sure maybe Ray Liotta wanted to do something there. Wait, no, that was
Was Ray Liotta in the first
no,
movie?
that was Observe and Report. Sorry, I mixed those up.
really? Because they're totally different.
They're both
That's
mall
your
cop
sip, though.
movies. Oh, did you hear me sip
Who's
again?
the romantic interest in this? Anna Faris?
Yes, we heard
no,
you
it's
slap.
Observe and Report.
Yeah. Anyway, Paul Blart starring Seth Rogen. Oh wait, no, it's Observe and Report. Sorry, I keep getting mixed up.
I feel like they made fun of that on SNL.
Probably. It's like like Armageddon and Deep Impact, man. You make two movies about the same thing, they come out at the same time.
Will I have an
Deep
unrelated
Blue Sea
question?
and Jaws 9.
Yes.
Well, have you seen Fast and Furious 7 yet, or Furious 7 as it's called?
No, I'm very upset. Don't spoil it, please.
Well, neither one of us have seen it either, but it just seems like one of those things. I figured if
How do you
one
know
of us,
I
I
didn't
was
see it.
supposed to see it on. Okay, I was planning on seeing it on last Thursday, and I didn't get out to see it yet. So, I am. It is a movie that I'm looking forward to. I watched recently. I watched for Fast 6 to catch up on my Fast saga, and Fast 6 is hilarious. Like so many laugh out loud moments. Like I think I like these movies because they're movies that know what they are and how over the top they are. And when you got cars flying out of planes, you know you're in for a silly ride.
The longest runway ever.
In Fast
They do.
6,
I think
yeah.
they did like something on it, and they're like, that runway should be 12 miles long, and the world's longest runway is 1 mile, or not even.
I mean, maybe they're going a lot slower than you think. You know,
I was telling Matt the other day on our way to Grandmama's house for some delicious chicken chili. Thanks, Heather.
Nice. Shout
That
out to the aunt.
I've seen 1, 3, and 5, but I haven't seen 2, 4, or 6. So I'm kind of due to see 7.
Yeah, you can
Because I
only
just
you only
watched
see the
every
odds.
second one. Yeah, I can only see the odds.
Yeah, only
And
never-
just for the record, it made $146 million this weekend, so I can guarantee you there's going to be a FNF 8 or whatever they end up calling it. I don't
Apparently
know.
set in New York.
So what are they going to do
Wait,
about?
like it's already a thing?
That's what what's his name? Vin Diesel said he was going to do.
Can you smack your lips a
Vin
little
Diesel
bit more for me?
So what are they going to do about Brian O'Connor then? I guess they're going to have to just say
Well, they already cover it in this. They cover it in this movie. He dies in this movie.
Oh, okay.
Dude.
Spoiler alert.
Oh, sorry. I thought that was established because that was the whole thing. When he died, people were like, "Well, what are they going to do?" And it's like, "Well, they already."
You already
But-
covered
Just going to say that it happened.
Michelle Rodriguez died in one of them, and then came back.
I
and
feel like Brian O'Connor's not coming back.
Well,
We're just
Brian
saying-
O'Connor 100% isn't coming back.
right.
I'm just
It's
wondering
Paul
how you
Walker's
get
character
around
who
him.
died in real life.
They did a good job of it in
Spoiler alert.
Indiana Jones: The Kingdom of the Crystal Skull. They talked about one actor who was actually dead and one actor who retired. Like,
Yeah.
just like Marcus and Dad. And then they're both gone, and now it's just me.
That was a really good Harrison Ford
And
impression.
I'm 57
Legit.
years old.
Surprise.
Thanks. That's a ripoff of another guy who does an impression of him. Sorry, back to Taron Killam, who does a great impression of him too. Because he's changed, right? Harrison's changed over the years, obviously, but when
Haven't
he
we
was,
all though, guys?
Yes, but he was younger. He was a little more spry. So at least when he's at an award show, he's like, "All right, the visual effects artists are the guys who do the thing." And nowadays, he's just like, "And the Oscar goes to the guy."
I think he just wants people to stop asking him to do things.
I
He's
think
like,
that's
if I do
it.
this poorly
He's-
enough, I won't be asked back.
But that's
It's like
the
loading
best.
the dishwasher. Just do it bad once, you never have to do it again, unless you live on your own. Which
That sounds
I
like a
do,
Kathy
just in
Jones
general.
bit, by the way. But anyway,
It probably is. I guarantee it is.
shout out to Kathy Jones.
Shout out to Kathy Jones. Sorry I plagiarized you. I thought I had an original. I hate when I think I have an original thought, and you're like, nah,
No, it's
Kathy
okay.
Jones did it. Kathy Jones already covered it.
How often do you have an original thought and someone just pops up out of a bush and like, excuse me, is that a Kathy Jones bit? And you're like, damn it. Kathy Jones.
Honestly,
You'll rue the day.
There's been way too many times in my life where I've said something and someone just popped out of a bush and said, not original. And then slap me.
So for all you
Slap me
people
right in
who,
the mouth.
for all you people popping out of bushes, what are you doing? What are you doing in those bushes, man? What-
Yeah, leave Alex alone.
It's
man.
on me. I'm walking around bushes far too often for this,
That's
and I
true.
should be more prepared.
Yeah.
It's really on me.
Yeah. Okay. That is your fault. But what were we on again? Do the dishes badly.
Paul
Oh yeah,
Blart.
Kathy Jones. Paul Blart. There we go. Hey, we actually got back to a topic for once. Yeah, out of
Paul Blam.
Bring it all back to how do you like me now?
1,000 episodes. Yeah. So
Actually,
Paul
we're on
Blart-
Fast 7. Really, is where we were going. I think
Actually, we were
all
on
Paul
Fast
Blart.
8 is where we were going.
Well, let's talk about Fast 9.
Okay, we might as well, right? Fast 10. It was starring
I was talking
Mr.
to.
Oh, go ahead, Alex.
No, I was just saying to Matt that it's so funny the Shut up. The Fast and Furious movies.
The nomenclature?
They just like continually get better, not better, but like more famous actors in it. They're just like,
Yeah.
The Rock's in there now, and now Jason Statham's in it. And who was it
Yeah.
in? Was it Luke Evans? No.
Mhm. Luke Evans was in 6. Yeah, because they go to
He's a
England.
stand-up comedian.
Lee Evans? No,
Lee Evans.
was a
Lee Evans,
receiver.
yeah.
Wasn't
Okay,
Lee Evans a
sorry.
receiver for the Ravens who dropped that pass against the Patriots in the AFC Championship game? And they traded
Yeah, I
him
mean,
the
he
next year and
dropped
they
it
made the
because
Super-
Sterling Moore knocked it out of his hands. But
All right, whatever. Yeah.
otherwise, he would have had it.
Okay. Otherwise, you would have it. I love that in sports. Otherwise,
Don't
I would have
yada
it.
yada me.
Yeah, yada yada. I'm gonna yada.
Well,
yada.
had a man not knocked a ball out of his hands, he would have held on to the ball.
That's the unfair thing in
think that's a
football.
safe
is,
assumption.
I think you should just not. I think you shouldn't be able to do that, right? You should just be like, "All right, it's yours," and then you back off and you take 3 steps back. You need to
Pretty sure
invent
they're
that
going to be getting
3-step
those
rule.
rules pretty soon. Will.
Is that what it sounds like? They're doing a bunch of rule changes.
Well, I mean, they already do that now. Like if you look at back in the day, receivers used to get mauled, and now it's
Yeah.
like any type of, especially on like Torrey Smith or anything like that. Any type of. Justin, do we ever talk about how badly our teams did in the offseason?
I don't
Not
think
that
so.
great?
how our
don't
teams
think
got
we did,
like,
and we were going to
torn
at some
apart.
Why was Torrey Smith so willing to go to San Francisco, which everyone else was so eager to get the heck out of? That was odd to me.
Yeah, that's.
I want to get your thoughts, Will, I guess, because from my perspective, the Ravens' offseason has not been solid, but I want to get your perspective of what you think is happening. Or what you think.
I just see a lot of I don't know. From what I could see a lot of key players getting out of town, and then and then Terrell Suggs, I think, agreed to restructure his contract, which is something in sports that I haven't really heard of a whole lot until now. There was another example of that recently. Oh man, somewhere. Anyway, some players just like, I'll restructure my contract for the good of the team. Yeah, okay.
Watt did, huh?
Yeah,
Watt did.
JJ.
Brady's done it like 9 times. I think his salary is like $4. I'm like, that's just a bonus now. So
he's like, it all comes, $4, but you don't have to pay a lot of tax on that, which is an upside, right? I think.
Well, who was saying? Oh, that's part of the reason Ndamukong Suh went to Florida because they don't have income tax.
Oh, gross! I hate
plays
that.
a part.
I hate people who dodge taxes. You know who didn't dodge taxes?
You're not dodging taxes. You're just going to a place that doesn't have it.
Yeah, I guess. But
Texas doesn't have it either.
Arnold Schwarzenegger made a point of paying taxes in the United States. He's like, I'm a citizen. I'm going to pay taxes here. He doesn't have an offshore bank account in like Bermuda. I'm sure that's why JBL lives in Bermuda for the taxes and probably for the sunshine. It's very nice weather.
Does JBL live in Bermuda? Why do you know that?
He tweets about it all the time.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah,
that's definitely why he's there.
Yeah, he famously lives in Bermuda. I mean, famously.
JBL famously does anything.
Hey, he's a wrestling god.
Michael.
He's a wrestling god.
Michael. There you go, Michael.
I say it, by the way, I end many sentences in this apartment with my roommate. We both enjoy our wrestling. I end many conversations with the word Maggle.
We have not talked about WrestleMania.
No, we haven't yet.
Let's focus on football. We'll get to
football. Yeah, sorry.
Okay,
and
football
and
like
about our team.
So yeah, football. Football.
Look at me keeping you guys on track.
Wow, what a
Nailing
responsible.
Right.
Look, guys, it took a year, but I think we're on it. Okay, I think we're on our. We're on fleek. What? No, that's not a thing, is it? What are those kids talking about? Anyway, football.
I don't know what you're talking. Matt, did you understand any of that?
I also have a cute question about Fleek. I'm not sure.
Yeah, I don't know what that is. I was thinking Alex, the hip hop guy, would know. HHG.
Guys, you'd be surprised about how little I know about most things.
I don't think we would be. But yeah. So I see a lot of people leaving the Ravens. I lost track after a while.
Yeah, I mean, getting Justin Forsett, I think they got him on a 3-year deal for about $9 or $10 million, and that's solid.
Yeah,
I mean, that's good. They didn't put a lot out there, but they needed to keep somebody. I don't know who the receivers are. They lost Jones, so it's really just Steve Smith and
Marlon Brown.
Tight end? Owen Daniels?
No, Owen Daniels left. I think it's.
Oh, he went to Denver, didn't he?
Yeah, Owen Daniels went to Denver to be with Gary Kubiak again.
Right, because he went to Houston, and then from Houston went to Baltimore, and then Baltimore to Denver. So he kind of followed them all the way through.
So I think they're after.
Yes, I am just catching on to that now.
Yeah, no pun intended. Catching football, right? Thrown by a quarterback, puts it in play. No,
there actually was no pun intended.
Yeah, well, I found one. And I think they're looking to hang on to Dennis Pitta. I think that's like the next piece that they're like really wanting to retain.
Oh man,
they did.
I don't know what they're going to do without those Torrey Smith PI calls. That's going to severely affect their offense, and I'm not joking.
They did cut Bernard Pierce.
They
terminated his
DUI,
contract.
right?
DUI. And when he got pulled over for the DUI, he said to the cop, he's like, I'm going to get cut for this. Not that you care. It's like, no, the cop doesn't care because he's enforcing the law that says you can't drink and drive.
You consumed alcohol, and I said that at the end of the podcast the other week. I said don't drink or drive, and he did both simultaneously. Well, not simultaneously, but did one and then the other, and in the reverse, that you could legally do it. You could drive somewhere and then drink, and then get a ride home.
Yes,
you can't drink somewhere and then drive. Everybody knows that.
Be a designated driver.
I don't even come close. Like the most I'll have, if I have like 2 beers, I'm like, I guess I'm not driving anywhere, and then I have more beers after that. But I don't get that mindset at all. I've never understood it. It's like, don't drink and drive. It's like, yeah, I know.
Well, I'm not much of a driver, but I can't imagine it'd be very enjoyable to be like say you're at a party or at a bar, right, where most people consume beers. And you're like, all right, if I have one more, then I'm over the thing. But I've already had maybe too many that I can't already. So I don't know. I mean, for me, I'm just like, if you're out to have a good time, you're out to have a good time. And you can do one of 2 things. You can have a good time soberly and drive, or not and don't. And that's the only 2 options that exist.
Soberly and drive, or not, then don't.
Soberly and drive, not, then don't. We went out to...
It's about planning, I think, ultimately, too.
Yeah, it is about planning. We went out to...
That's why yesterday I got Matt to drive to Mom and Dad's for Easter.
That's right.
Yeah, very helpful. No, when I was at home and we were in Halifax, and going to downtown Halifax from where we live out in the old burbs. If you want to take
Vancouver, that's a long commute.
That's a long taxi drive. I think it costs about the same actually. But
and then you got to tip double, Will, because you don't want to inconvenience the cab driver, so you got to tip him on top of what he's already getting paid.
That's right, damn it! I'm a very, very generous tipper.
That's a callback. That's a
callback,
baby.
That's a callback to last August. Did I tell you I went back to that very same location for another shoot, and I was on time. Isn't that good?
Well, good.
Yeah, isn't that amazing?
But you tipped the same, right? Because you still inconvenienced the cab driver for having him drive. Driving you somewhere.
I took the SkyTrain most of the way, and I tipped the. There's no driver on the SkyTrain, so I just kind of tucked a 20 in between a pair of seats.
Oh God!
Yeah, I decided to give the robot car some love.
Is there actually no driver on the SkyTrain?
No, which is why it's dumb that it doesn't operate 24 hours.
Wait,
it's like a comedian out here.
Computers need rest too, dummy.
It's like a computer out here. A comedian out here is like, why doesn't it go? Like the robot train gets sleepy.
I just said it did.
Yeah, well, it doesn't though.
That guy's routine sounds awesome.
No, he's hey man, that guy opened for Mulaney.
Nice.
Yeah.
Who was it?
Pardon me. A fellow named Ivan Decker.
No. Who's the guy? Lachlan
Patterson.
Yeah, he's coming here for
definitely.
the Halifax Comedy Fest.
I recommend.
He's the only one I'm excited to see. The lineup actually looks pretty gosh darn awful.
Pretty bad. Let's not say who's on. Let's not bury anybody. Let's be nice.
No, it's just there's no. I mean, it's
there's
like
no
Mark
names.
Pritch, Lachlan, and then a bunch of nobodies.
Ian Hanlon from the show. He told me that.
Which is, I mean, I'm sure there's good comedians in it, but in terms of drawing, there's no one.
What's his? Oh my gosh, Alex! What's his name from Picnic Face? Mark
Little was on Conan.
Yes,
okay.
Yeah.
Yes,
that's it.
He was really funny.
That's amazing. That's a guy, Alex, that you shared a stage with, wearing a
not
Conan,
at the same time,
not at the same time, but you wore a Conan O'Brien shirt, and you shared a stage with him, and that's kind of very cool. I think.
Yeah, no, it was really good to see. I've always found Mark Little, who, if you guys haven't checked him out, check him out on YouTube, part of Picnic Face. I've always found him to be ridiculously hilarious. So the fact that he was in Variety a couple years ago as like one of the top 10 comedians to watch.
Oh, nice.
So when you see a guy who's that good and you're like, that guy should get notoriety, and then he does, you're like, yeah.
He was attached to an NBC variety, like comedy variety show they were putting on.
Okay.
I don't know if they actually filmed it or what they ended up doing with it. I haven't heard anything about it since. But I was kind of like, oh, that sounds like Saturday Night Live.
Oh, okay. So that's where
the type thing, or
what's that?
It wasn't like an improv thing or a live thing, was it?
I think it was sketch. I think it was sketch comedy.
So that's where that
jumper on some like
rumor came from.
Cedric the Entertainer show or something like that. If that sounds right, it sounds right to me. Maybe I'll look it up. But you guys talk amongst yourselves about comedy.
Yeah, we can IMDb it later. But Matt, I heard the rumor that Mark Little was possibly considered for SNL. He may have just auditioned for it. And
I don't think it was SNL though. Is what I'm saying.
Oh, so it was another NBC.
It was something unrelated. I could see him being considered for sure.
I mean, just like if you get asked to audition, because that's how you have to. That's how it's done, right? If you get asked to audition for SNL, I mean, obviously that'd be a tremendous honor. That would be.
Well, that was what's so good about watching like the 40th anniversary and see all these people who didn't make it on the show, like Kevin Hart and Jim Carrey and stuff like that.
Steve Colbert.
Yeah, it's crazy to think about, and I'm sure Steve Carell probably auditioned at some point as well. And you're like, yeah, none of those people made the show. But if you watch, Kevin Hart was talking about it, he's like, yeah, I shouldn't have made it on the show. I was terrible. You're just like, okay. Yeah,
sometimes you just blow the audition, and sometimes it's just not what they need to fit into the new cast at the time. I mean, I can't explain why they signed on 6 new cast members, and that was like a couple of years ago, right? Remember they had that huge influx of
it was like Milheiser and
it was just last year. It was like a year.
Kyle Mooney.
It was recent.
Bennett.
It was like
Beck
when
Bennett,
Noel Wells. Yeah.
Noel Wells.
When they did the
kind of okay.
When they did the skit, the sketch, new cast member or Arcade Fire member, and people had to tell the difference between the two.
That was hilarious.
I thought that was pretty funny.
That was a Tina Fey episode.
I recently watched the first episode of something I wanted to check out for a little while, of James Corden's Late Show.
Yes.
The guy who took over for Craig Ferguson. And it looks like he's doing stuff different over there. The interview is done differently. He kind of gets out from behind the desk and has the two guests sit together and talk with him. Kind of like a Graham Norton show. deal, which is
Nice.
kind of refreshing because there's so many late shows out there. And
Is it like Pete Holmes? Is there a desk or anything? Like Pete Holmes should just sit on a stool or something like that.
yeah, what channel is Pete Holmes' show on, by the way?
It's not. It got canceled, but it was
Yeah,
on
it got
TBS.
Oh, okay.
So I don't know what. I don't think it was on here. I just would check out stuff online. It was pretty good.
Yeah, I saw like little
You know.
little clips and stuff. So
And if you're a fan of comedy, like there's all Kumail was on it, and Bill Burr and
Funches.
Mulaney and stuff like
yeah,
that.
he was
Funches,
on-
yeah.
he was on there.
He was on Undateable on NBC, starring Chris D'Elia and Brett Morin.
That's right. And Chris Lee was actually the only part of the Bieber roast I've seen thus far. I recorded it last night.
I seen the whole thing.
You've seen the whole thing, Alex. What do you
synced
think
it.
of the roast?
I don't know how they combine people in roasts. It's the oddest assortment of people I've ever seen. It's Shaq,
Yeah.
Ludacris, Snoop Dogg, and Martha Stewart,
Martha Stewart, yeah.
who was actually very funny.
Yeah, somebody says she was probably one of the best roasters
I mean,
on
when
there.
you have those guys on there, like I think Burris and D'Elia, the actual comedians, they write their own stuff, and then obviously Snoop Dogg and Ludacris and Martha Stewart, that's all done by writers and everything. But,
Sure.
I mean, it's okay. It was worth the watch.
Sure, yeah. See that kid get
You know.
roasted.
I don't understand why. And you always do like the thing at the end where it's like, yeah, bro, mad respect. Thanks for being out here and doing this. And you're like, shut up. You're kind of ruining. You're kind of undercutting everything you said previously.
Well, undercutting it, but also just keeping the roast in. I
And
just love.
really
I just love on Arrested Development. It's like, remember when they used to toast Dad? They used to roast Dad because they thought they have a sense of humor, and he doesn't, and neither do you.
And neither do you. Yeah.
You're all fired.
I just want to get your idiot brother out of here.
Fired, Tom. Get your jackass brother out of here.
Yeah. That's what it is. Oh, Matt, beat that out.
I don't think that's gonna be
Timestamp
necessary,
it.
guys.
That's right. No, hey man,
Sorry, Mom.
it's an animal.
We're offending you. All your sons are offending you this week, Mom.
I think
with
they say,
curses
don't they
and
say in
nude ladies
Pinocchio
and
when, and that was a cartoon. They turn him into a donkey, and don't they say Jack Butt in that?
I really hope they don't.
Cartoon.
Alex, do you want to talk about? Do you want to mention something that happened this week with Mom?
Sorry, I just think
we're,
the
we're
word.
flying all over the place.
I think the word Jack Butt is the funniest thing I've ever said.
The
Anyway,
term jackbutt is a derogatory term.
Alex, yes, you sent us some unintentional comedy gold.
Unintentional comedy gold. Here we go, everybody. Well,
What are you, Greg Stink? That's good. That's good. Will Forte.
all right.
That actually is what
I don't know.
All right, sorry. Go ahead.
No, I was just so Friday night, Good Friday, the best Friday, if you ask me, where I unintentionally did everything properly from the Catholic perspective.
Of course.
That
No,
is
it's
to say, Alex accidentally did not eat meat on Good Friday.
Yeah,
Accidentally.
I had some
He only realized it after the fact.
I had some tuna, but that doesn't count. And I did the meals thing, whatever that part is.
Yes, that's right.
A lot of parts of Good Friday I did not know about. Anyway, so Friday was Good Friday, and I had tickets to the Mooseheads game. So my buddy Derek and I had some beers for the Mooseheads game. And I went to the Mooseheads game. We had more beers.
And didn't drive.
And didn't
right?
drive. No,
Yeah.
we camped.
Ba-
And
important
then,
po-
so
important
earlier
point.
in the day, there's a song / like kind of an album of random songs by Kanye West called Good Friday, G.O.O. Oh, God, I messed up. I didn't mess up so much as I lost my spot spelling out a four-letter word. G.O.O.D. There we go. Good Friday.
Wow.
And it was
Got
Good
you
Friday. So I took a screenshot of the song on my iPhone and said, "Indeed it is." Hashtag, I hope you have a nice weekend, which is part of the song. So I'm at the Mooseheads game, and we're just chilling. And I'm having a good time. And then I get a text from our mother, my mother, Will, and yours as well.
And mine.
Oh.
I think you were the yours as well.
Oh. No, I was just
Oh,
trying to
yeah,
make it
we
seem like
didn't-
he was
we didn't know.
adopted.
Yeah. No,
You've tried,
But
many
you're
times.
not. I don't think. I don't know. I
definitely
wasn't there.
isn't. Rabs isn't really.
You not being there actually speaks more to the possibility of me being adopted than anything else.
Yeah, that's what I said. Wasn't. Anyway, so I get a text from mother, and she says, "Hey, did you know there's 2 naked ladies in that tweet you sent out, or do you just want me to shut up?" And I was just like, "What?" And she's like, "Yeah, on the album cover, there's just 2 naked ladies." And I was like, "Oh my goodness, I did not know." So I took a screenshot of the conversation and sent it to you guys, where Will had an LOL and Matt had a, "Yeah, of course there's a naked lady in there." But if I look at it now on my phone, it still doesn't really look like it. So if you look at it on a bigger, brighter screen, it does. But yeah, in the background of the thing, there's 2 naked ladies, and I accidentally tweeted it out to all my followers and mother. and everyone else.
So the solution was, Alex, you blocked Mom from following you on.
I blocked Mom from following me on Twitter.
On Twitter, yeah,
and told her I deleted it.
Yeah. And good thing,
Folks, you can't find it if you're looking for it.
unfortunately, you can't block someone from listening to your podcast. So she actually is hearing this right now. Oh no!
Oh boy.
Oh boy!
Sorry about that, Mother. I didn't mean to do that.
It's Alex's
No, I mean,
wacky
look,
voice week.
guys. I'm not. Hey, what can I say?
Well, you can
Might
say a
have to
lot of
tape
things
for
in a
us
weird
now.
voice.
Hey, you ever hear about That's my stand-up comedian impression where you just go, "Hey, ever hear about And then, what is the deal with the moms?
Yeah,
Following you on Twitter and all that stuff.
everyone's got
No,
one.
I mean, obviously, I would never intentionally tweet out a picture of a naked lady
On purpose.
I really just wanted to say, "Hey, it's Good Friday, everyone. Enjoy."
Yeah, it's Good Friday, and also Kanye West made an album of an eponymous album, right? An album with the same
B-sides,
name.
yeah, eponymous, like it.
You know how long it took me to figure out what eponymous meant? It's like,
Really?
Led Zeppelin's eponymous first album. Yeah, really? I don't know what you don't use it very often in everyday speech. Eponymous.
I'm dropping eponymouses all the time.
I'm dropping eponymous is day.
You're a hip eponymous.
All day, every day.
All day, every day.
Sorry, Mom.
Hey,
and
what do you
to
say?
anyone else I offended.
Yes, we apologize, but
Well, you're welcome, because if you're looking through Twitter and you're like, "Man, I wish there was naked ladies on there." Hey,
Alex has got your hookup.
Well, we
I
had your
helped you
hookup.
out.
We got
I
rid
had
of
it. I don't have it anymore.
Yeah.
You text me, I'll send it to you. Or just look it up yourself. I mean, it's kind of hard to see. I didn't even know.
Yeah, Mom. I think Mom really would probably have to be like, "Oh, wait a minute here." Put on her reading glasses, be like, "All right, let's take a look." Oh,
what are you insinuating about Mom?
Oh, what the darn heck is that?
You make her sound so old.
What the darn heck, Alex? Heck at the darn. What the darn heck are you doing?
I darted at my back, Will, doing squats this weekend.
Oh, bro, you gotta protect, bro. You gotta protect your back. You gotta work the core, bro. That's what you gotta do.
Will, have you ever listened to Comedy Bang Bang? Because you sound a lot like Don DeMello.
Don DeMello, really? I'm trying to be like Mr.
Alex, you know what I'm talking about when I
Dallas
say Don DeMello?
No. Oh, I think I...
Theatrical
who does Don
director.
DeMello? Would that be Andy Daly?
It is Andy Daly as a very creepy theatrical director.
Oh,
It's one of three people, but I don't know.
you
we're talking about
you drawing
Comedy
up your
Bang Bang.
back. Well, how you feeling, man?
Oh, it's fine now. Like, it wasn't anything bad, but I just, like, went down. I kind of took not some time off the gym, but, like, a week off because I had a cold. I was just like, all right, well, just, take some time off. Then I went in there. I was like, I'm going to do single legs, but I didn't have the box I usually have for single legs. So I was
Yeah.
like, I'll just do squats. And I went down, and I just was like, oh, I lost feeling in a spot where I should have feeling.
Ah,
And then it kinda,
jeez, man, that's exactly what happened to me when I was doing the overhead squat.
but it's like way lower back, like right in the lower back, and I was just like, oh, okay. I lost all power coming up, and I was like, I'm just gonna switch to single legs now. So I did that. I finished my workout, and it hasn't really worsened at all. If anything, it's got a little bit better, but it's still kind of just
just go. It's just keep an eye on that. Go easy on that. You know what I learned from listening to a Daniel Bryan interview? He was on Jericho's podcast. Podcast is Jericho, as WWE mistakenly calls it.
It's Talk is Jericho, isn't it?
It is, but like for some reason on WWE television, they have to refer to like Stone Cold Podcast. Well, it's called the Steve Austin Show. It's not called Stone Cold Podcast.
That's
but
weird.
I guess,
Why would they do that?
Well, because they have to brand it as their own thing all the time, right? I don't know why.
But do they bring them on board now? Is that a thing?
Occasionally, it's like a little special thing they do every now and then. So Stone Cold's done 2 so far. He did one with Vince, and he did one with Triple H, and Jericho's going to do one with John Cena. But Jericho already talked to John Cena, and I don't know what Jericho like. Steve's a little more aggressive of an interviewer. Jericho's a little more like. Steve's more a Mark Maron, and Chris is more a Chris Hardwick, where he's just like, cool. He's a little easier on him.
Nice
and Mark,
analogy, bro.
and Mark
Nice
Maron will.
analogy.
You like that? Yeah. Well, hey, man, this podcast we know our own. We know our
All right,
own.
get over yourself.
Yeah. Okay. But Mark Maron, he'll be talking to someone and be like, yeah, and obviously that was a really hard time. And then I did. He's like, "Oh, why? Why was it a hard time? What did you do? What did I?" He kind of goes after the story a little bit more. But anyway, Jericho was interviewing Daniel Bryan, and Daniel was saying, he had that pinched nerve in his neck, and he was saying that he was experiencing pain, and then he started experiencing weakness, and he actually had the opposite of me. He had the ulnar nerve pinch, and I had the radial nerve pinch. So I'll try to explain that real quick. If you look at your right hand, and you look at the thumb, index finger, and middle finger, that's connected to your radial nerve. I actually might have this backwards, but whatever. A doctor can correct me. And then your ring finger and your
He's
pinky
an actor,
finger.
folks. He's not medically licensed to do anything.
Yes.
Now, unlike Sarah Canning, who is a doctor.
Yes, that's right. Remedy season 2 right now.
But she plays one on TV.
On Global. If you look at your hand, basically the thumb and first two fingers are connected to one nerve, and your ring finger and your pinky finger are connected to another one. And I had the first three fingers pinched, and he had like the last two fingers pinched. So he had a problem where he was like trying to get into his car, and it doesn't have like, power locks. He can't open it via remote. He's got to put the key in it, and he couldn't like apply enough force to put a key in a keyhole. That's how badly his nerve was pinched. And
Wow.
I had it pinched to the point where I couldn't, obviously I couldn't use I couldn't use my bicep to lift up my hand to like hold an empty glass, right, or to hold a drink, or any. I couldn't do anything with it, and basically, so my problem was with the pulling motion, right? I couldn't lift it up. He couldn't thrust it forward, so that was his problem. And then he saw a guy who worked on. I'm summing this up real quick. He saw a guy who worked on Carson Palmer, the quarterback for the Cardinals. Yes, because he called it Phoenix Cardinals, and I was like, actually Arizona Cardinals. But he had a problem with his shoulder where he couldn't even pick up a football. And he saw this guy, and 6 weeks later or something, he was back on the field playing. So Daniel saw the specialist, and he's like, I'm going to look at him, and if I can fix him, I'll be able to tell him right away. And if I can't, I'll be able to tell him right away, right? So he saw this guy, and basically after 2 visits, he fixed him right up. And Daniel was, kind of back in wrestling. But for the longest time, Daniel, he didn't want to heal himself.
Name basis.
And it's not even his real first name. He didn't want to heal himself through surgery. He wanted to heal himself naturally. And
What's his name? Brian Danielson?
Brian Danielson, yeah. And they changed
I love
it.
it. I love it.
Brian. They wanted to call him the Bedazzler or something like that? They wanted
Brooks
to give
Phillips.
Nah. Call him Cole Cabana. Call him Nah.
Nah.
Yeah. Anyway.
So let's long story short, this pinched nerve thing. So pinched nerves, much like the Wu-Tang Clan, are nothing to mess with.
Nothing to mess with, and like they can it's kind of scary how easy they can happen, right?
Yeah.
So if you're feeling like basically his problem was pain and then weakness, and my problem wasn't pain at all, really. It didn't hurt at all. It just pinched it, and I just couldn't feel anything. Oh, and also the doctor was like, a pinched nerve basically recovers at a rate of an inch a month. And if you have that long nerve that kind of goes like all down your arm, look at your own arm. That's a lot of inches, man. So that's something that requires a lot of time. So anyway, if you're working out,
a nerve hurter.
If you're working out, kids, be careful. If you take a week off of squatting, maybe take a couple of plates off.
You got to warm up a bit better. I don't know, now that I'm old as hell, I got to start warming up a bit better. Get the foam roller out a bit more. Get some blood moving before I just start squatting.
Oh yeah,
my warm up for squats is just light squats.
Yeah, you old as hell.
You got to do.
You old as hell.
Get something in there. So
well, I think Seth Rollins is older than you, and you can see the stuff that guy does in the gym is disgusting.
Yeah,
it's disgusting. He truly is a champion, and when did he become a champion, guys? He became
Thank
champion.
you for making me realize that I'm not as good as Seth Rollins at things.
You're not as good as the WWE champion right now, Alex.
Yeah, so WrestleMania 31 was a weekend before last.
Yes, we didn't talk about it last
Stadium.
week because we were so
from XYZ Stadium.
Yeah, for
Oh man,
that's a good looking barn, man. That's
pretty
a good looking spot, and I like.
Can you call it a barn if it doesn't have a roof?
Yes.
No, you can't. I guess not, because there'd be no point in putting cows in a barn, because they're made of suede, and if rain hits
you can
them,
really call anything you want.
I can, Steve. See, I just called you Steve. It's not your name.
Yeah, no, it's not.
Anyway, yes, WrestleMania 31 from Levi's Stadium. WrestleMania 31, and I definitely used hyperbole on the internet after it was done. I called it the Besselmania, and it wasn't the best one ever, but it was a very good show. I'd say it's one of the better ones I've seen in the last couple of years. And
you hyperbole a lot, Will, but I mean it's fine.
I never hyperbole ever, but sometimes I do.
Yeah,
but I never ever do it.
I never, ever do it, but sometimes every now and then I hyperbole.
Sometimes I do. But I never
the
do it.
Epitome of hyperbole.
The epitome of hyperbole. No, it was a good show. Definitely worth the $12 a month I spend on the WWE Network here on Shaw. So thanks, shout out to Shaw for doing that. And shout out to Triscuits.
Taking back your Shaw shout out because I don't agree with it.
Okay, no, that's fair enough, I guess. I quite enjoyed the show, and the fallout from Raw the next night was interesting to watch as well. It's always the best crowd of the year, and I actually thought WWE had them for a little while up until the main event of Raw when everyone started doing
they lost it.
Yeah,
what was the main event?
Well, the main event's
a
your
six-man
typical
tag, as it always is.
Yeah, your Raw 6-man tag, but they were doing the wave. And it made me think of actually Toronto in 2004.
SummerSlam 2004, Undertaker against your buddy,
the wrestling
your bro,
god. Yeah, the wrestling god, JBL.
JBL.
Actually, JBL got knocked out of commentating for a week because an announce table got dumped on him. Him and Booker T.
I actually thought Booker T was injured. And they actually had the camera on him, and you could hear JBL go. He's like, "You okay, Booker?" Like, which wasn't supposed to be on camera, but
sure.
Anyway,
but the camera was right in their grill.
Yeah, I like how you skipped over Mania and went right to Raw the next day. By the way,
well, okay, so I didn't mean to skip over Mania. It's just because I wanted to talk about what happened that Monday night because we couldn't talk about We couldn't talk about Raw. We could have talked about WrestleMania on Monday.
We totally could have talked about WrestleMania last week. Chose not to.
That's
artistic.
True. It was yes.
Decision.
It was like the Super Bowl, right? It's like how we chose not to talk about the Super Bowl.
Is Super Bowl like hyperbole?
Matt came up with this idea for the podcast. He's kind of dictatorial about it from time to time. Or you can take the tutorial off there as well. So what he says goes.
Okay, no. So
but I was thinking, I was like, man, this is the first time in history that the main event ended with someone other than the two guys in it winning the title. And I was like, wait a minute, no, it's not.
No, there was WrestleMania 9.
Ironically enough, both outdoors.
Both outdoors, both sunny pretty much the whole time.
Not ironic, coincidental. I take it back, everyone. Sorry.
Yeah,
that's on me.
Yeah, that is on you. But some people complained about the show being outdoors and having it be sunny the whole time. And there were some like weird, it made Bray and Undertaker's match kind of weird that it took place during the day. But I thought it was cool. I thought it was a neat visual. It was different. That's the biggest thing. It was different.
I'm so happy when Seth came out, man. I was so pumped. There was no good way to end that main event otherwise.
Well, you can't put Reigns over because that's going to bury him more, and he'll be more over by losing than he would have been by winning the title. And you can't have Brock just squash him at WrestleMania. You can't have that happen. So I think they had the Money in the Bank concept since WrestleMania 21. Mm-hmm. So 10 WrestleManias later, it's never been cashed in at a WrestleMania, and Seth's had it the whole time. And they kind of mentioned it on TV in the weeks leading up to it. Seth's kind of like, yeah, there's you guys, but also I got this, dangling his little briefcase.
Well, I have a question about that.
Yes.
So, can the person with the Money in the Bank briefcase just change what a match is?
Yeah, this is funny.
That's also the first time that's happened.
Now it's a triple threat, so
that's also the first time that's happened.
Could you? Does that mean you could tie down the current champion, like just tie him to something, and then be like, "I'm cashing in my title now. It's a ladder match."
You can tie him to a railroad track.
Exactly.
And then twiddle your mustache.
Smashed by a train, gets killed. Loses.
Well, I mean, back in the day, or, many times when Dolph Ziggler cashed in the Money in the Bank against Alberto Del Rio and Daniel Bryan did it against the Big Show, I want to say, both times it was done after the match when guys had just been destroyed.
So I guess they didn't want to.
Came down and laid on them.
That's what Edge did against John Cena the first time the Money in the Bank's ever been cashed in, and there's been different cashes. There's been John Cena the week before telling CM Punk that he was going to cash it in. Damian Sandow did the same thing where he's like, I'm going to cash it in, so let's have a match. Instead of, Edge came up with the original concept kind of, which is like, well, why don't I just come out there when the guys beat the heck up? Mm-hmm. Why don't I come out there and take advantage of that and just like have another match after he's already been through heck and back, right? So it's only recently they've been like, well, no, I can also like just make a match if I want to, and give him a week's notice or give him notice that night. And then
not that recent because RVD did that.
Yes, yeah, you're right. Sorry, RVD did do that. But it's the first time they've actually changed like what a match was. So But the bottom line is, at the end of WrestleMania, I was very excited when Seth came out, and I had a feeling he'd come out of there with the title. I think he had one of the best matches of the night against Randy. The RKO at the end of that match was unbelievable. It was unbelievably good. And Seth's a guy who's so good. There's lots of like moves he can bust out for like if he wants to get a good face pop, you know? Like his I don't even know what it's called. I think it's called the blackout when he does the crazy flip off the top. This time he did the crazy flip and landed on his feet because he's that kind of freakish athlete.
Oh, he's unbelievable. Him and like Neville too, who debuted on Monday Night Raw the next day with that. I want to call it like a. What's his thing called?
Well, it's called the Red Arrow. Yeah, his finisher's called the Red Arrow, and he's a really
Is that the one that's
athlete.
a twisting 450, or is that
I think
twisting 450?
I think it's a twisting. Yeah, it's a twisting 450, and he's remarkable. And Neville's cool. He's got a much lower center of gravity too. Like I think Seth's like 6'4", so Seth's a pretty tall guy. And Neville's probably, maybe 5'10" or something like that.
Yeah, but built like the Dynamite Kid. Like
yes, he is.
Muscle on muscle on muscle.
Yeah, he's a thick dude, and he can fly. I really wish
Seth's about 6'2". Seth Rollins is about 6'2".
Okay, so he's tall as me. So I'm as good as Seth Rollins. Okay,
6'2",
good. That's good.
yeah.
That's good to know. But yeah, Seth's a remarkable athlete. He can
I hate
bust
that
out.
he reminds you of me, by the way.
Why? That's a good thing.
It's that or Shia LaBeouf, Alex.
Yeah, that's true, man.
Crazy Shia LaBeouf. Did I send you the video of him in the Indies where he does the backflip off the fat guy's stomach?
Shia LaBeouf does that?
No,
Yeah,
Seth
Shia
Rollins.
LaBeouf. Yeah, that was in Transformers 6. Yeah.
I'll tweet it out when this podcast drops.
That's right, on Monday morning.
And then I'll send it to you guys as well. But it's kind of hilarious to see. He's just a fat guy standing up. He's just like, stay there, and he just goes up, does a backflip off him, and or a moonsault, I guess. And
so he's really
move
good.
Much.
He's really good at whenever he has a match with John Cena. He's really good at taking the AA where he just flips and just lands on his feet. And
AA's like it's like John Cena just totally gave up on making that move look good at all. He just like throws the guy off his back. He's just like, I don't care.
No, the move he's got to snug up is the STF. Steve Austin even told him that on his interview. He's like, snug up that hold, son. He's got to snug that up.
So bad.
Yeah, it looks pretty bad.
I think, okay, sorry, real quick.
Yes.
The STF is one of those moves too that like they get to the ropes when they are in that hold, right? That's a thing they kind of call
quite
the
often they get to the ropes.
That does not make sense. You should be absolutely just immobilized.
Especially Cena's like a very strong person. It doesn't really make sense. Like Cena's huge. I saw him deadlift 638 pounds, son.
Yeah.
Also,
he didn't hurt his back.
I got to get to another pet peeve here.
Yes.
Yeah.
Something that bothers me, and this is something that
enemy
happened,
of the show. Go.
This is something that happened during the Brock Lesnar Roman Reigns match. When a wrestler hits their finisher,
Suplex City, bitch,
covers them,
blew that up.
and then doesn't like there's no it covers them and it gets a 2 count, and the wrestler just looks at the other one like, oh my gosh, I can't believe he kicked out. It's like, pick him up and do it again. Like, there's no limit. Like, if anything, he's in much worse shape. Please keep doing this.
Lesnar has this thing in his matches now where he's just like, I hit the F5 right away, and then I just kind of take control from there.
I like that. I like that match. I think there's too many F5s though. He hit him like 4 times.
No such thing, man.
There's no such thing as too many F5s.
I love it.
This is what I was saying about like
F30.
A lot of guys like Triple H and Taker, like their whole big match thing is A, taking each other's finish, and B, like stealing finishes, and B, just kicking out of every finisher. And you're like, yeah, I get it. There's a lot of near falls, but how many times are you gonna? I don't know.
I don't think there's a single finish. I don't think there's a single finish now that's never been kicked out of. Because I think Seth hit one curb stomp on somebody and they kicked out. No, he hit it on Randy and Randy kicked out. So I can't think of a single finish. Even like John Cena at WrestleMania, even he got out of the Accolade. So that almost kind of crushes the Accolade. I can't think of a finisher that hasn't been kicked out of yet. But that remains to be seen. There's always new finishers, but moves like they're really. I don't know. They gotta be careful. They don't kill their finishers. Like that match almost killed the F5. I think where he kicks out of it like 3 times. But you know.
And did you see who retired? By the way.
Yes, I did see the news. I saw that CM Punk tweeted #Thank you AJ, and AJ decided to retire from wrestling, and power to her. There's something about
WWE Diva AJ Lee.
Former Divas champion, former Raw GM. There's
some tennis players, they'll retire like at a weird time.
Like divas always retire super early. Like Kelly
Female
did, Beth
players.
did. I mean, Lita. I won't say Lita retired young because Lita retired post neck surgery, so she kind of had more of a reason to. But I guess I'm not sure AJ's reasoning. I'm sure she's kind of like, well, there's not much left to do in the divas division, so I'm kind of done with wrestling for now. I'll just follow my husband. Maybe she'll join the UFC. Who knows?
I actually had that. Was actually a thought I had. I was like, man, she probably could.
And speaking of UFC,
she's a lot younger.
She is a lot younger. Yeah,
she's 28.
She's pretty small too.
And when I say that, sorry, I mean relative to that. How about Ronda Rousey?
Ronda Rousey, man, holy cow!
She was looking good.
She was looking good in her Dragon Ball Z T-shirt or tank top.
Okay, sorry. I said to say about Ronda Rousey looks like jacked older Chloe Grace Moretz.
So where's that team up movie coming down the line, right? Kick-Ass 3, what do you guys say?
Hopefully some point.
Hit Girl and Hit
Call
Mom?
too?
No, she's not Hit Mom. She's not that old. No, as soon as I saw the girls at ringside with the sleeve tattoos, I'm like, wait a minute. I would never recognize them anywhere else. I'm like, those are the Four Horsewomen. Oh, and also I knew Rock was going to be there because I saw his mom in the front row. And I saw John Cena's dad in the front row. He was yelling at
What
Randy
are the Four
Orton.
Horsewomen?
The Four Horsewomen are Ronda
His
and
dad's still a big boy?
I think he's lost a bunch of weight.
Okay.
I think John's made his dad lose some weight. But
he got big, man. He got real big. He got
real
Rob
big,
Ford
yeah.
big.
Yeah, and that's not it's not Rob Ford big as far as popularity or notoriety goes. He wasn't on Jimmy Kimmel, but he just
he was not.
He got very obese. The Four Horsewomen are Ronda's training partners. And they're like some tough. So like there's some tough looking girls with sleeve tattoos. Who
I remember
would not
seeing
mess
her. But I remember seeing her reaction video on YouTube after when Seth Rollins turned on the Shield, and she was like, "Oh my god!" She was pretty upset about it. She's a big fan.
She is a big fan, and one of my favorite internet videos I saw it recently is this guy talking to her, and he's like, "Now I got to tell you." So it's her and this guy dressed in a gi, right? The white Karate Kid outfit. Apologies to anybody who does
to all
martial
lay
arts.
persons out there that it's the Karate Kid outfit, of course. Yes.
Yes. So he's standing there and he's like, "So Rhonda, I have to say, as a man,
was she hip throws?
I think yes." He's like, "As a girl, I don't think you have the strength to take me over." She's like, "You're seriously asking me that?" He's like, "Yeah,
Olympic bronze medalist in judo, by the way."
So, I don't even want to spoil the ending, but just check out this YouTube video and Ronda
You should
Rousey.
tweet it out. You tweet it out.
So I'll tweet that out when this podcast drops because it's one of the most priceless videos you'll see on the internet. But anyway, yeah, seeing Ronda there was great. Like to see Rock come out there, especially the night after SNL. Obviously, WWE sent the jet to go pick him up. From
PJ.
From
Sorry,
New York,
pajamas, but I just got off the PJ.
So he shows up at WrestleMania, and yeah, that was a great. That was a very long talking segment, but I thought I had pretty good payoff at the end. And actually, Jericho had Edge on his podcast, and they reviewed the show. And Jericho's like, "So maybe next year Ronda Rousey against Stephanie." And Edge is like, "Well, that depends on the UFC contract. That depends on if Dana White."
One-off.
Yeah, it'll probably be a one-off, and that's fine. Well, because she's under contract with the UFC. Like, it's not like maybe she could possibly retire early and do movies. I mean, who knows? That might be the career path she chooses. Like I said before, she's not a great actress, but she'll be a great action star. Like Gina Carano was in Fast 6, and then Ronda's in Fast 7. So maybe Ronda against Gina Carano in a movie at some point. That would be interesting to see.
So she's in what's that? Oh no.
Expendables 3, Entourage movie?
Thank you. Expendables. I was like, the Untouchables? No? Okay, the Expendables 3. She's in the Entourage movie, and she's in Fast 7?
Yeah, I didn't know she was in Fast 7.
I keep calling it Fast 7.
Well, I mean, if we say
Furious 7?
Yeah, Furious 7. She's in Furious 7. She has a fight with Michelle Rodriguez, apparently. Which would be
girl fight!
Which would be pretty ballin'.
Which is actually just what she does for a career. I don't know why I get so excited about that.
A couple more things about WrestleMania. The entrances, Triple H's entrance was incredible. I loved it.
Incredibly stupid. That was the dumbest thing I've ever seen in my entire life.
So dumb.
Why did that happen? Why is Rikishi in the Hall of Fame? Why did Triple H come out with those?
Ooh. Hey, man, Big Kish, former Intercontinental Champion, a former Tag Team Champion.
We were watching it at like it was the four of us. It was me, Mike Bromley, Naz, and Mark Haverstock, and we were all kind of. We don't really watch it, but we watch Mania every year.
Yeah,
we're like, man, this is brutal. And Mark's like, I love it. We're all like, dude, get out of here.
Oh, the Terminator entrance,
awesome. No, with the Rikishi.
Oh, Big Quiche in the Hall of Fame.
We all hated the Terminator entrance, I think.
The Terminator, well, because I knew it was happening, but it was
Why do you start wearing that like big?
The skull thing?
Skull mask thing.
I think they started at 22, right? He did like the Conan entrance at 22. Because he can, yeah. He's the only heel who gets a big over-the-top entrance. Oh, besides Rusev, who drove out on a tank. Which was
Mother
Bray Wyatt got
tank.
kind of a cool thing.
Rusev on a tank was great.
I don't want to say scarecrows. I don't know what to call them. Scarecrows.
They were scarecrows, yeah. The Bray Wyatt entrance was kind of cool. I preferred his one the year before with the live band.
I won two bets at Mania.
Okay, what'd you win?
The first one was the pre-show, so it had the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal, and we all just put names in a hat, and then picked them out from there. So I think Mark had the worst. He had like Sin Cara, Heath Slater,
nice,
like Zack Ryder, Mark Henry, and something else. You're just like, oh man,
was Mizark in that thing?
Sorry,
Mark was Mizark in that thing. I didn't see him in it. In the Battle Royal.
Mark Henry was in it. I can't remember. And then there was like 10 other guys, because we only went by what was listed on the pre-show thing. And then there was like 10 other guys in it. Like I think Cesaro and Tyson Kidd were in it, and a couple people from the tag team match. Which was actually the tag team match, by the way, in the pre-show was really good.
That was hot.
The IC Intercontinental title ladder match was amazing.
Yeah.
Ambrose took a disgusting,
it was gross.
bump from Luke Harper.
It was gross.
Anyway.
And then he was on Raw the next night fighting John for the U.S. title. I think he should have taken a night off to sell that.
You just don't. Like, no wonder so many wrestlers are run down or dead because, man, like you have that huge match and you get to wrestle another 20 minutes. Yeah. Or Rollins has to work 2 matches, fly to New York, fly back for Raw, do 2 segments and the main event. You're just like, you're probably tired.
Get a CrossFit workout.
Instagrammed a oh man, well, what's it called? CrossFit. CrossFit workout the next day. So,
well, that's why the analogy, the analogy of WrestleMania being the Super Bowl. I mean, no disrespect to any football players, but the Super Bowl, you don't play a game the next day, right?
No.
Anyway, that's where the analogy kind of ends. So you won the Big Show. You drew Big Show out of
it came down to Mike Bromley had Miz and Mizdow, and I had the Big Show. So it came down to the 3 of them. It's like, oh man, I'm going to lose this one. Like I really thought Mizdow was going to win, and then he didn't.
It looked like he was, but it made sense for Big Show to win.
Yeah, and now he should retire and never wrestle again because he's the worst thing ever. Like,
well, he got the please.
He got to go.
He got the please retire chant on Raw the next night, and he was soaking that brutal up. Actually, they did a good job of soaking up the heel chants on Raw. Like Sheamus when he came out with his new look, and they started chanting "You look stupid."
He did look stupid.
Yeah, it's a bad. I know what they're going for, but it's a bad look.
He's got to be a heel, and Reigns should be a heel too. By the way,
well, Sheamus is a heel now, and I like him way more as a heel. He had a good match against Daniel Bryan on SmackDown, where Daniel Bryan, I'm pretty sure, bladed. They did a spot where he goes to the outside, and he was supposed to hit the corner of the announce table, and he stood up, and he had a clear, kind of blade. Like, I was looking at the Brock Lesnar match. When he hit that post...
that was just because he had stitches in his head the next day.
He did have a couple... Yeah, I think Lesnar's just,
glued up or something.
I think Lesnar's just so, pumped up and, so much blood rushing through his body for such a, amazing athlete that he's just, he just kind of bleeds too easily. He's kind of like Nature Boy, right? When Ric Flair would get kind of hit a little bit, he would blade automatically.
Yeah,
I think that's Brock's thing, but I think Daniel Bryan bladed, man. I'm not sure. And then Wade Barrett hit him with a bull hammer. That was great.
Wow.
Anyway, sorry, I digressed again. Sheamus looks stupid. Yes, unfortunately, I'm a big Sheamus fan, but that's a bad look. So what was the other bet that you won?
The Undertaker's entrance over under on the time. Because we were cause WrestleMania 20, it was 15 minutes. WrestleMania 30 last year was really long because it went through every casket of every person he had beaten in the streak,
including real people who actually
which had
passed
who
on
actually were
since
dead.
then.
Yeah, the Big Boss Man and stuff like that.
Yeah, that was awkward.
I know there's other ones. That's the first one that came to the top.
I think Boss Man's the only one, right? I remember last year you texted when he was going through the caskets. You were like, "Boss Man?" Question mark. Is he gonna
Boss Man actually dead? So
yes. So maybe don't show that one. So Undertaker. I think he looked good. I know he's a guy who probably should retire, but he looked better than last year. That's what I'll say. I think he looks spry. He looked more like the biker. I
understand having him show up for one match every year, and he didn't even appear on TV for the build-up.
Yeah, which was supposed to, I would say, amp up the anticipation, but maybe that didn't work for some people. I thought it was a good idea leaving him off TV, but who am I? I'm one guy. So next year, WrestleMania is in Dallas, and that should probably be his last match, right? It's in Texas.
I just don't understand why you end the streak and then he comes back in and wins again. Like, I don't know.
It was more like an exhibition, him against Wyatt.
Booking makes no sense to me sometimes. Have Lesnar come back and then have him lose to Triple H at Mania. You're just like, what is happening right now? What is the point? How does that help anybody?
Yeah, so I'm wondering where Bray goes from here because he wasn't on TV this week. Apparently, by the way, he twisted his ankle.
He hurt his ankle.
Yeah, earlier in the day. So right now. I'm wondering what they got to do something else. Like they already shook him up a little bit. I think they got to do something else to shake up Bray. They got to make him look dangerous again. The Sting Triple H match itself, I think they did a good job covering up the fact that both guys can't really go like they used to with that kind of ridiculous overbooking. They have DX come out, NWO come out, and Scott Hall takes a back body drop on the outside. That's what DDP Yoga can do for you people. You can still hurt yourself years later. Hogan took a bump. I was shocked. Hogan took a bump.
Wasn't Sting kind of an antagonist of the NWO? I don't really get that.
Yeah, but he was, and then he joined them, right? He was like,
did he join them?
I'm pretty
everybody
sure
joined.
Everybody, yes, everybody joined eventually. There was like fake Sting. Oh, by the way, I do have to mention this. In the Daniel Bryan interview, he's kind of talking about where wrestling fits in the grand scheme of the world. He's like, at the end of the day, we're entertainers, but we're not that important, right? We're not like doctors or anything. When he was hurt, he wanted to go to the Peace Corps. He's like, that's what he wanted to join. But he was saying that there's a book about this guy who was bringing tuberculosis medicine to all these parts of the world. It's not that they were illegal in these parts of the world. It's just like they couldn't really get their hands on the medicine. So this guy's going all over the world. He's a doctor administering tuberculosis medicine to all these places that don't get it, right? Very important.
The Robin Hood of
tuberculosis. Saving a lot of lives, right? Making a big difference. His brother was the fake Sting in WCW, so that kind of gives you gives you perspective on where wrestling sits in the whole thing. Anyway, yes, Sting. He was Wolfpack Sting for a while, right? Where he had like red face paint, and I don't know. WCW got a little convoluted, I think we can say.
Oh, maybe just a little bit.
with a degree of certainty. But I did like the fact that they kind of took advantage of NWO and DX being able to face off against one another. But NWO looked hella old. Like, come on, Kev. Scott, you can't bust out the Just for Men just for this one show. Ironic, funny enough, Hogan looked probably the youngest out of all of them because he's been bleaching himself for so long that I don't think his hair even knows how to make color anymore.
What do they say about Hulk Hogan in It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia? The
blonde, Chinese hair, skin of a hot dog.
Skin of a hot dog. Exactly.
This is where Hulk Hogan's hulking up. It's like a seizure of strength. Nothing can hurt him. He's in a state of Hulkamania. And then, okay, so that was WrestleMania. It was a good show. It was a fun time.
Yeah. This is the podcast.
I quite enjoyed it.
This is the podcast.
That was WrestleMania. This is the podcast. And, we thank y'all for,
check me out on Twitter.
Yeah, check him out. He's going to tweet the, what are we going to tweet?
Seth Rollins,
the
fat
Kanye
guy
West thing.
The Kanye West thing's going to be back on there, and I'm going to delete it again. I'm going to put it back on there, and then I'm going to delete it again.
Seems like a bad idea.
Yeah.
By the way, the Instagram for this is going to be that screen grab of that conversation with you and Mum, because it's too funny. And yes, that's right. I said Mum, M-U-M, because I'm British.
And she spelt it Kane West.
Yesterday, I should mention this too. Yesterday, me and Ian Hanlon from the show, we went to the Fan Expo convention in Vancouver. It's like the Comic-Con of the Northwest, so to speak. They have Carrie Fisher was there. She's Princess Leia. And they also had William Shatner. He was Princess Leia. So we're going to record some stuff there. Just us, just walking around, looking around. So we're going to have some clips of that, hopefully next week, if we can work out the bugs. And I'm going to tweet I'll tweet the Rousey thing, talking to the guy. I almost spoiled it by saying but talking to the guy. And I'm going to tweet that from my account. And the account is at William C. Vaughn. Vaughn is spelled Vaughan. Alex, ICS. No, that's yours, Alex.
Oh, is that not our last name? Okay.
No ICS. Goodness sakes.
Matt, what are you going to tweet out?
Yeah, Matt, what are you going to do? Come on. We're doing all the work.
Give me something.
We're doing all the work here. What are you going to do?
Maybe a video of a cat falling asleep. That always gets people.
Oh, yeah, the kid, because the little kitty can't keep her eyes open.
Keep its head up. It's so tired.
It's so tired.
It's just a baby. What's he innocent for? It's a baby.
But whatever I tweet, you'll find it at MP Vaughn.
Oh, EMPEEVON.
Is that empty?
I gotta see if somebody actually has that.
Is that empty?
Please take it over if it's in there. MP Vaughn.
Is that like empty?
I don't
bellies?
think that has P in it, right? I mean, that's not
P. Gross.
At MP Vaughn does not exist.
Oh, I'm taking it.
Taking it.
And I'm gonna put. I know exactly what the picture's gonna be for that account. It's obviously gonna be your gobbldanger.
Oh, from the Pats game.
A story of which we can never tell because we were sworn to secrecy. All right.
What?
All right. So
Catch
next
you
week,
bros on the flip side, and gals.
Next week,
bros and gals.
Highlights
and
from Fan Expo. Me and Ian Hanlon giving our analysis.
LOL.
Hey, that was sarcasm, wasn't it?
No, man. Nah, bro.
Oh,
nah, bro.
All right. Thanks for listening. We'll see you next week.
Bye. Oh, that hurt my throat.
Good.
I should have done that.
No.
I should have warmed up.
Should have warmed up. Should have done some little.
Should have talked for an hour before I did that long bye.
No, man, you're too fatigued. You're
just like them squirts.
Nope, don't call him that.
Squirts.
Nope.
Paul Squirt. Ball.
Mall carp. He's a fish.
All right.
He's a mall fish. In the aquarium.
I would see that movie.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
Mall carp.
Oh, God. He's just in the fountain solving crimes. Oh, God.
Just on pennies.
Out.
Eats people's wishes.
Speaking of checking stuff out, we out.
Yes, we're out.
We done, son. See ya.